Hello. It's been a while since I have vlogged, and I have just a pile of things to share. And so rather than take time doing rhyme or reason, which I usually try to do being a retired school teacher, I'm just going to chit-chat with you and pick up things that I want to share and talk about. But before I begin, I want to let you know that I am still working away at this journal cover. I've made some progress. I'm going to be waiting on some things until we get to work together. But this is definitely moving along. And when I get to the finishing up stage, at that time I'm going to have a surprise. So I'm leaving you with that little teaser about this cover. And I'm going to set this aside now. In fact, I'm going to move myself and go to another table on which I've been keeping my stitchery. And I did not take time to pretty up this workspace because it's just, there's no point, because this is going to be a real chit-chat. And it's going to probably be a long one, so I do hope that you will get something to drink, and remember that there's the pause and fast forward button. I found this, and this rationalized my whole day journey. This is Rosemary for Remembrance, a keepsake book, Tasha Tudor, and it is just in lovely, lovely condition. And of course it's boxed. Can you believe it's actually boxed? And the box is in pretty darn good condition, because this is an old one. And isn't the cover, because it's been boxed, isn't the cover just doing beautifully? And Tasha Tudor's artwork, well, it has always tickled me right to death. This book is first edition in 1981, and here are some of the pages, and Tasha Tudor's artwork, a poem by Emily Dickinson, Sir Philip Sidney, and her lovely, lovely art all around the edges of the pages. John Norris. Oh, I do love her corgis. She loved them. She and the Queen. Mark Twain. Birds. Isn't that one some? William Butler Yeats. And to pluck till time and times are done, the silver apples of the moon, the golden apples of the sun. Now, this is just ultra Tasha Tudor. Her people, her roses. Oh, I guess you can kind of imagine how much I like her and her art. Ralph Waldo Emerson. So, this book is going to be available soonest for you to use for your, however you might decide, for your art projects. And speaking of books, I have had a good think, and I have decided that these two Ophelia books that are the last two, I used the first one in the journal that I made, and it has gone to its forever home, but these are the two left, Voyage to Japan and English Adventure. And these, like the one that I used, the first book, these are in wonderful condition, including the dust covers, the books themselves. Isn't that a beautiful, beautiful pink? The end papers are lovely, and I know that it's in the 80s. Yes, this was 1987. And all of the pages are intact and just delightful. And there are all of her collected bears. Aunt Vida and Zenobia assess the situation. That's Aunt Vida and that's Zenobia. Here's Monsieur Ritz. Oh, there's Ritz, the mouse. So, I'm going to be sharing these books also in my Etsy, and I hope that you will find something fascinating to do with them. And this one is a reddish cover. Interesting end papers. And this one was 1986. So this, the trip to Japan was before the English Adventure. And more. Oh, and this one to the Tailor of Gloucester, dedicated to the Tailor of Gloucester and the memory of Beatrix Potter. Oh my. Ophelia in a dream, setting out for Marseille. Anniversary in Kyoto. So lovely. Ah, and there is a bear wearing a kimono. And more of the adventure. Here's a double spread with some Japanese dolls. Beauties that need some fixing. And there's the girl. Another double spread. I would have bought and continued to buy if the author had continued, but she did 3. So, these will be coming soon. Here are just 3 bits I've purchased because they were on sale. I finally found ground espresso for a nice dark brown, darker than vintage photo. I got some spun sugar because it was on sale, and a Stazon timber brown. I want to have one in my stash because I'm quite a user of that. And as you can see now, you're having some inkling about what I said about this being totally random. But I wanted to share this with you. I received this from Australia, and this package from Sarah. Sarah's shop is the Mushroom Market. Thank you for purchasing my stash packs, and you will just love her channel and her shop. So that was included. This as a thank you. This packet took almost 3 weeks to get to me from Australia, but it predicted when it would get here, and that was the day it arrived. And here's a little book. And this is Sarah's handmade paper. So the Mushroom Market, you don't wait, because you will just love her things. This and the card were separate from the packet itself, and the packet itself was wrapped in this lovely pink tissue with this double-sided pink satin ribbon. Now, double-sided pink satin ribbon is hardly found anymore, and if it is, it's solid gold. So I'm valuing this because Sarah took the time to make this beautiful, to tie this beautiful ribbon around her package and add this pretty embellishment. And her card and information about the stash packs. Vintage wallpaper mini pockets, 6 pockets, map, and sewing, mini pockets, mixed wallpaper samples, etc. Fabric bundles, birds, butterflies, botanicals pack, handmade paper pack, brown paperback with mixed pieces, one vintage embroidered piece of linen, and mixed book pages, etc., etc. Here it is all out. Isn't this done beautifully? This was worth the wait. So, I have not opened this. I've waited for you guys because I thought that when we had our next Chit-Chat, I didn't realize I was going to have this much to share. So, as I said, beware, this is a longie, and I'm going to try to stay out of rabbit holes. But it's not easy when you're relaxed and you're talking to your friends. Everything packed so beautifully, so attractively, that it's definitely Christmas in May. Let's start here with this pack. This is the pack of tags. Let's take a quick look. I might not put them all back in the packet because I want to save you some time, but this is a delicious packet of tags and of all sizes. The papers themselves are just delightful, and the edge is stitching embossed around here. Do you see that? Can you? Let's look and see if you can see that. I'll get very close. Do you see the stitch embossing around the edge? Oh, such a delight. So that's one. And fabric packet. I'm not going to take that apart, but here are the pieces of fabric that are included in this packet, with a lovely little lace handmade doily. This looks like the wallpaper packet, and I just had to treat myself because I decided upon reflection that I was a good girl and deserved to have this little present. And I'm sure you understand how sometimes you have to take stock of your wonderfulness and decide whether or not you can rationalize your wonderfulness and make it a reason to splurge. And I did, and I love it. Oh, look at these pieces. Oh my, I hope you can see the sheen on that wallpaper. Sarah constantly shops in Australia and finds these absolutely beautiful pieces. Oh my, my, my. Well, at this rate, my hands are going to start to shake pretty soon. Oh my, isn't that? Oh my goodness. So, the wallpaper packet, the bag. Isn't the bag just the cat's meow? Look at that lovely bag, and it's nice and fine. It's not quite see-through, but it's close. Oh, some stamps and some bulb pins, and this pretty rose designed baggie, and a snippet of purple lace. And I'm getting, my muse is starting to talk purple. So that's probably going to be happening probably in my pickup journal. Oh, look at these delicious little bits for, oh my, 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 that's just, let me turn over here. All of these beautiful little pieces just calling for a snippet. Some stamps and some stamped fabric. some vintage playing cards, and whoop, and aren't these, haven't they lost their whiteness? Isn't that wonderful? That goes, no, I think, yes, that will go there in that bag. And let me put that bag down. And here's the next one. South Australian State Lottery. All pieces of vintage papers in beautiful condition. This one's written on ballpoint pen. Isn't that makes it special? Thank you, Sarah. Things I would never begin to have. And some cards. She's a great lover and collector of stationery. Oh, oh, oh my. Wow. Did I say my muse is saying purple? She's probably flipping around and doing hand flips by now. And some large cards and scorecards for contract bridge. It just goes on and oh my. She showed us making some of these on one of her videos, the Mushroom Market on YouTube. Old handouts, old maps. Oh, goodness. Wallpaper. I can tell right through this pretty flowered baggie that this is wallpaper. I'm going to have to make a special drawer just for this collection of goodies. Aren't they beautifully made? Two designs for these lovely little wee little bags. Whoops. Let me get this to close. What do we have in here? A collection there it is. There it is. I've got it. Come. There it goes. The Tim Holtz pieces that I don't have because I don't have that die. And look at all of these delicious die cuts. So many of them. And I'm still going. Goodness gracious, I'm going to have to make 2 vlogs. But I kind of thought you might want to see. And I do believe all of the first batch are sold, of course, almost immediately. And I think Sarah is starting on a second stash pack. And she cuts all of this ephemera by hand. And she cuts it beautifully. I'm going to leave those 3 bits in because I want to look at these goodies. Some more beautiful, these look like magazine pages with embossing on the edges. Birdies. Flowers. So another stamp. More cut pieces. Oh my Lord. I think I shall have to wet my whistle. My mother did not appreciate little girls in my generation using spitting or even using the word, but there was an expression about losing your spit, and I think this is, oh, envelopes. Look at that envelope. And, lovely pieces cut out of magazines. More birdies. More old pages or illustrations. Now, the bag that I've been absolutely waiting to find. Here is a piece of her, she collects and washes and irons this, and includes one piece in each. Now that is there, but this is Sarah's handmade paper. And the amount of time that it takes that woman to do this and to make it so beautifully is absolutely mind-boggling. She has a video, a process video on the making, and she embosses her bits. Well, that will be a very special piece. And the white. So in 3 colors are salmon, neutral, and white, and it is so heavy. This piece is heavier than the others, and it is only one piece. And here it is, her natural handmade paper. I hope that you can see the natural fibers, and in 3 colors. Oh, how wonderful. And bits and pieces. She is forever foraging and finding these absolutely lovely, lovely books and pieces. And there's our girl Edith, a piece of Sarah's stationery. I don't see much of that in Florida for some reason, but she seems to find a workbook, grammar and vocabulary test. Oh my. Stamp album. Oh my, being a teacher, I know what that was all about. And so on, and so on, and so forth. And it just keeps going. And then here is a piece of eco paper. The beautiful leaves. So, I know that you can appreciate how I feel about this purchase. I just love being able to support our artists and shop owners in any way that I can. And this and that, just happiness in 2 hands. Okay, let's see what might be next. What will we do next? Whoa! Lord. If that all poured onto the floor, I would probably howl. There you go. On top of my stitchery piece there. So, more sharing of things that I found and some things that I have been doing. I found this book. It is paper cut in B for book, and I thought, oh, someone might enjoy having this to embellish in so many possible ways. Wouldn't that be beautiful? A combination of collage and doodling. I took the first page, I took this page out because it was that was the only page in the book that was written on. And so here, this is the only blemish, but this will be coming soonest. And this is for me, that I found in my local mall, a basket of flowers. That stopped me, and look at the condition and the delightful, almost oriental, yes, almost oriental effect of this book cover. Okay. Routledge, large size, juvenile books. Basket of Flowers. Or Piety and Truth Triumphant, London. So there will not be a copyright. And here we go with the pages. That have some beautiful black and white illustrations. And I am going to be tucking this into my to-do pile for Carol. This was a present for me, and I'm going to be altering this book. And certainly I will do almost nothing to this beautiful cover, which is also embossed. Happiness is a find like that. On another tack, or from another pile. From another pile, I've spent some time using my book and cutting, fussy cutting these, all of the things that were in this book that were worth it to me for keeping. And this book is, the pages in this book are cardstock. Rare to find, but true. I've also kept some of the papers that were just writing, because I thought, wouldn't these pages be wonderful in a collage piece, or for my junk journaling. And out of this book, I got all of these pieces, and it took me a few nights while television watching to do this, but it was so much fun. This was a large piece. This was one whole page that I don't know what I will be doing with, but that's my accomplishment, so I'm sharing. And here is the book cover after I removed the block, and The Painted Garden is the name of the book, and here is the block, and nice quality, oh, nice heavy book. So this is going to be becoming a journal. This one I've had for quite a while, and I believe this book was in a dollar basket. It's someplace last year, maybe. It's been a while. Art and Love, MMA, could be, and I think it is, the Metropolitan Museum of Art. Look at the size of that spine. Isn't it nice? Good quality. And I got my 2-inch punch, and I got all of these pretties to use in my collaging. These bits came from, these shiny bits came from the dust cover. These came from inside the book, and illustrations of art, or bits of it, that I thought, oh, won't these be just fun to use? So, this book that has been unappreciated by me until I really started junk journaling is going to be living its new life pretty soon. So, 2 junk journals in waiting. Now, I'm going to have to come back out so that you can really see this because they're rather large. These bits I'll talk about in a moment. I had this calendar, and I cut these pieces down to 10 by, this is not 5 pieces, it's more than that. Just ignore me sometimes, I do that. I cut these down so that they will fit in a mailer, and I'm going to give you a quick look through now at these pieces, and this is vinyl covered paper. It's definitely something that you could wash. I mean, it's paper on one side, yes, but definitely vinyl covered on another. So this is set number 2, sorry, and 5 pieces for this grouping. So this is set number 2, and this is the offcut for that group. And here is set number 1 with the offcut, and this one is this, and again 10 by 11.5 inches, so that they will fit in a mailer. And it's nice, heavy quality because of the vinyl on top of the paper. So that's sets number 1 and 2. And this is the wrapping paper that I cut apart because, and there are 6 pieces in here. And so these pieces are 9.5 by 13, and again, they will work in a mailer. And I'll put just a little bit of cardboard in with them to give them a little strength. And let's see, this one is upside down. And this one. And this one. And 6 different designs in all. Isn't that exquisite? So waiting to be in a journal. And look at the difference, and yet each lovely. I think I'll put that one here. So this is wrapping paper, and that will be coming, and they will go mailed in a mailer this size. And last weekend I found this book at my local handy-dandy antique mall, and it is Time magazine papers, and front cover pages from starting out in 1920 and going through 1976. So what I did with this was I pulled sheets, pulled 8 pieces, and these are 10.5 by 14.75 inches. If you want them flat, I will send them in this folder. I will send them in this mailer. If you don't mind my folding them, then they would become about 5 by 7, and that's what they will look like. Just leave me a little message if you are interested in having them folded. And here, from my similar to this book, I have, but I've had it for a while, are my Wichita Beacon pages, and these I have folded, and these are printed on paper that is would be, I think you would consider it a very high quality, pound-wise copier paper. But, so I have 8 pieces of these lovely large pages. Aren't some of these advertisements something? This is from 1920. This one from 1916, 1898, and back to 1872. So this is going to be in my shop quite soon. You move this puppy. Now, let me bring out some Happy Mail and some purchases. So I have a gadget report here. I think I will do that first before I get to these things. This dial trimmer, which does scores. Now I have to be honest, the score is not deep enough to suit me, but it cuts, it perforates, and wow, does it perforate. It cuts that paper, and you can just separate it with those little tiny bits that stick out for perforation. There's a decal cutter, a wave, and a scallop. The original price on this was $24.99. Hobby Lobby had it for $23.99 and $11.99 in Tuesday morning. And let me show you. This is the cutter itself. No secrets to working it, which is good for me. And let me get close and show you as best I can how this cuts. And maybe what I need is something darkish. Let me find, oh yes, I know something might work. This might just work. Okay. Okay. The back of my book here. You see the cut there? Quite nice. And here is the decal. More of the decal. And this is the one, the perforate, and this paper was together, and can you see that little teeth that hold the paper together? I just ran down and I put my hand on each part of this, separated it, and that absolutely was wonderful. Here. So, I'm just reporting that I am so happy that I'm not sure I would have spent the full price for this, but I'm happy that I know that I'm not happy with the depth of the score. It's another cutting instrument, which is fine, but perforate gets a 10 out of 10. Decal, maybe an 8 out of 10. And wave and scallop, quick and easy. I do have the new rulers, and they work very nicely, but this is even easier. So, that's my report on a contraption. This out of the way. In my antique mall, I found this collection of beads. in an old medicine bottle. And aren't these just, oh my, I had to have those. What a lucky find. What a lucky find. And they are not young. So, there, sharing that one. Now, I had this on my shelves, and I was getting out the book to do my fussy cutting on my and on my one project for television watching, and I found this one, and I said, "Oh, look what it's been hiding from me," and look at the condition of it. Isn't this lovely? Won't this just be a treat for altering? Larkspur, Rightness, Hardy, Lotus, Eloquence, Honeysuckle, Rustic Beauty, Jasmine, Carolina Jasmine, Separation, Juniper, Protection. Yes, the language to Victorians, they would have understood this without even thinking about it. So, Thistle, Austerity. This book was 1968. And this one is going to be on my list of to-dos. I think that might alter very nicely, and the pages that would be removed, wonderful. Let's see what else I have. Oh yes, I broke down and ordered this on Amazon, this Tim Holtz fabric, and I'm an old fabric lover, and I can, from my years of sewing from the time I was 8 years old, this is a very, very nice quality, and this yard came like this in the mail, and I was so happy to have this. Isn't this just waiting for playing? Almost finished. This was a Happy Mail that just came to me with a very sweet little note from Yvette. And Yvette lives in Oregon, and I'm going to keep that note, but this is what I received from Yvette for Happy Mail. And aren't these pieces just delightful? And I thought to myself, oh, these are quite firm and heavy. And yes, they are. They are paint chips. Paint chips. And wow, something to remember. I am so happy. Thank you so much, Yvette. You've woken me to this. If you, she has, I think, probably, yes, done some collaging on this, on one of these. And boy, this is seriously firm and wonderful. And thank you for this beautiful piece of fabric that you tied them with. Oh, it is so fine. Oh, isn't that pretty? Some vellum bits of beauty. And look at these laces. I don't have lace, of course, like this in any way, shape, or form. These colors, Yvette, are to die for. Look at that nice big piece of pink. And this piece of ruffling in apricot. It's a color that you don't see very often, but wow, won't that be lovely? A piece of beautiful magenta eyelash, and I've been looking for this and don't see it. I wish I knew, Yvette, where this came from. It's just so soft and beautiful, and it has just a little bit of silver iridescent in it. So, thank you so much for that happy surprise, Yvette. I'm going to tuck that over there, out of harm's way. I also hit the same day that I got the book on the New York Times. I found these napkins, very nice quality linen, with the thing that I love most to find, with tatting. So this tatting is just lovely, and whenever I find anything with tatting that's a reasonable price, I just absolutely have to have it. And then I looked very, very closely, and I do believe that these were edged by hand. Oh, 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 wow. So that was 4 of them in a packet, and that came home with me immediately. And this, I think, was some sort of could have been a collar on something, and it still works. It still gathers. But each one of these pieces are such a nice size. Not too big, said Goldilocks, not too little, just right. So I had that because the price was right. And then, last but not least today, Hobby Lobby came through with some beautiful, fine, nice and fine quality. And isn't that just a delight? I got 2 shades of that. Now, why did I not look to see if there was any white there? I think I was so surprised to find these that my head turned off. And Hobby Lobby also had this lovely bit. The motifs are pretty on the bottom, and the netting is so soft and beautiful. So I treated myself to that. Well, I'm going to have to wet my whistle again because this is an awfully long share, but I just wanted to chat with you and let you know about these things that have come into my world. And I just could not wait to let you know about them. Now, I'm looking around to make sure that I haven't missed anything, and no, I have not. So, if you have enjoyed this vlog, please give me a thumbs up, leave a comment, and I would so appreciate your subscribing to my channel. Bye now.